Good morning, grade 4. I will solve homework 26 with you, which was about equivalent fractions. You have these two fractions, 5/10 and 1/2, and we ask if these two fractions are equivalent. We ask ourselves, how can we make the 5 equals to 1? You can use division right here. If you divide 5 by 5, you will get 1. And because you divide the numerator by 5, also the denominator should be divided by 5 also. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So 1/2 and 5/10 are equivalent fractions. Let's go now to this one. How can we make the 4 equals to 13? There's no number that is multiplied by 4 gives 13. But there is a number when you multiply it by 6 gives 18. It's 3. And because you multiply the denominator by 3, you have to multiply the numerator also by 3. But if you multiply 4 by 3, you will get 12 and not 13. So these two fractions are not equivalent. Let's have more exercises about equivalent fractions. Here, if you have 2/3 and 6/10, ask yourself, how can I make the 2 equals to 6? I multiply it by 3. And because I multiply the numerator by 3, I have also to multiply the denominator by 3. But if I multiply the denominator by 3, I'll get 9. And not 10. So these two fractions are not equivalent. Now let's go to this one. 1/3 and 4/12. How can you make the 1 equals to 4? You multiply by 4. And because you multiply the numerator by 4, you have also to multiply the denominator by 4. And when you multiply the denominator by 4, you will get 12. So 1/3 and 4/12 are, yes, they are equivalent fractions. We have another important topic in fractions, which is comparing fractions, which means that you have to use greater than, less than, or equal to compare between fractions. We have two situations in comparing fractions. One of them is when you have equal denominators. For example, these two fractions, you have equal denominators, 3/5, 2/5. The denominators here are the same. When the denominators are the same, we look at the numerator and we compare. Which one is greater, 3 or 2? 3 is greater than 2. So 3/5 is greater than 2/5. Now here, also we have equal denominator, 5/8 and 1/8. So we go to compare depending on the numerators. Which is greater, the 5 or the 1? The 5 is greater. So 5/8 is greater than 1/8. So this is the first situation when you have equal denominators. The second situation is that when you have equal numerators. Equal numerators, here you have 1/3 and 1/2. You see the numerators here are the same. When the numerators are the same, we look at the denominators, and the fraction with the less numerator, with the less denominator is the greatest. So here 2 is less than 3, but 1/2 is greater than 1/3. Let's go now to the second one. When you have also equal numerator, 3, 3. Which one here is greater, the 6 or the 7? I know that the 7 is greater, but in this situation, we follow the opposite rule, which means that the 3/6 will be greater than 3/7. Not, I know that the 7 is greater than 6, but the 3/6 is greater than 3/7. This example is about the equal numerator, 5/9, 5/7. Now we go to the denominators. Which one is greater? The 9 is greater than the 7. But because we are following the rule of equal numerators, we say that 5/7 is greater than 5/9, the opposite. Now, one more example. If we have 3/8 and 1/8, here it's for the first situation when you have equal denominator. Equal denominator. Here, when you have equal denominators, you go to compare depending on the numerators. 3 is greater than 1, so 3/8 is greater than 1/8 normally. Only the point that when you have equal numerator, the number that comes at the top here, when the number that comes at the top is the same, you go to the denominators, and the fraction with the greatest denominator is less than the fraction with the least denominator. Now let's have homework 27. Homework 27 also, it's about comparing using greater than, less than, or equal. Which one is greater, 2/7 or 5/7? Remember here that you have equal denominator. What about 5/8 and 5/8? Here 5/8, 5/8, they are what? They are the same. So here you can put equal sign. This one I did it for you. What about 1/5 and 1/7? Remember here that you have equal numerator, so you have to go to the denominators. And what are you going to do? Remember, send me your solutions for this homework, and I'll check it for you. Thank you, grade 4.